Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm doing something a little different. You can tell I don't have any makeup on. Today's sort of a DIY project, and I was looking online and I was trying to find the easiest way for me to clean my brushes. I normally just go ahead and get my brush and I put some baby shampoo or Dawn and I rub it in my hand underneath warm water just to sort of rinse it out. But I figured after 50 or 60 brushes, your hands get all old people looking, you know what I'm saying? But I looked online and I would love to take the credit for this, but unfortunately someone has already done that. But it's a good thing they did because it saves so much time and so much effort. It is the makeup board cleaner, I guess you would say, and all you need is just a clipboard or acrylic clipboard or something that's plastic that hot glue would stick onto and that it's waterproof basically. So as you can see, I did plenty of different shapes. These small ones are for my smaller eye brushes or smaller brushes. The big ones are more for your face brushes and your big sort of brushes, powder brushes, things like that. And then I do them different texture just to make sure that all the product gets taken off. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I will do a demonstration on how I used it. The other thing I wanted to do is make a little stand for my makeup brushes to dry. And I found this on sale at, I think it was Lowe's, and it was $4.99, I believe, and it's just a towel, like a dish rack that you would put in your kitchen cabinets and to put your dishes on. And then all you do is you put a lot of rubber bands on them. You can definitely put rubber bands going this way. It's a little harder to do because it's sort of closed at the end. So I may do those in the future, like get a bigger rubber band and sort of cut it in half and then put them diagonal, just to make sure that the brushes stay in here. And again, I will go ahead and do a little demonstration, or I'll show you guys how I use it at the end of the video. If you guys like these type of videos of me doing DIY type of projects, makeup related, I will go ahead and do those. Just put those down in the comment center. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I will try to find the original person who did this and invented it, because there's so many people on YouTube that have their own little versions of it. This is just how I did it and how it works for me. So I will try to put that down below, but I'm not sure because there's tons. Like I said, all you have to do is look up makeup brush cleaner on plastic or whatever, and you'll see a lot of different versions. This is just the way I like it, the way it works for me. So if you guys like the video, again, go ahead and thumbs up, and remember to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Hey guys, so to go ahead and clean my brushes, I'm just taking a little bit of Dawn and I put some olive oil already inside of there, and I try to do equal parts to it. And some people can use baby wash and things like that. I just use Dawn and olive oil. Now I went ahead and I chose a few different brushes. I chose a foundation brush, and this one has a lot of products, and I chose this one because it's Real Techniques, to show you guys. I'm sorry about the lighting also, I'm in my bathroom. To show you guys that the ferrule, I guess you would say, or the handle, because Real Techniques tends to have big handles, so I wanted to show you that it fits in there. I chose eyeshadow brushes. I chose some that were really dirty, don't judge me, but I did choose the one from Morphe, and it's sort of like a white goat hair makeup brush, and it's really dirty. It's not even white anymore, if you can see. And then I got a big old powder brush that was a bit dirty also, and I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys like a little demonstration on how I do it with the actual board, with the cleaning board. So I always go ahead and leave water sort of running on the board itself, and I just sort of wet it first. Hope you guys can see. I use the smaller dots for my eye brushes, and the bigger dots for the big ones, like the big powder brushes and things like that. I'm also going to show you guys that you can clean a beauty blender, and this one used to be black at one time, but yeah, we're not going to judge it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one of the eye pencils first. I'm going to choose the Morphe 433 and 433, and as you can see, I sort of just wet it off a little bit under the water. I dip it in my little soap solution here. Now a lot of people actually, and I just start rubbing it against the dots. A lot of people actually put the soap directly on the board and then continuously do brush after brush after brush. I like to actually do it on the actual, or dip it inside the cup here. As you can see, I'm just making little circle motions, and I'm rubbing it against the textures that we did with the hot glue gun. And at the very end, I tend to use this little corner down here that has like the crisscross waffle action going on here. And that's usually the side that's underneath the water. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the water up a little bit more. So sorry if I get drowned out. And I'm going to go ahead and just rub it against the water there. And there you go. It's white again, if you can see. Sorry about the lighting. It's just this bathroom is horrible. I'm going to go ahead and do another little face brush here, and I'm going to try to clean this off. It's very awkward. I usually like to do it in my kitchen sink because it's a lot bigger. But there's a lot of people out there, like my nephew and stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to rinse this one, dip it in my cleaning solution again, and then again just rub it right against the little small dots that I created, and then around the little crisscross ones, back in the dots. Rub it under the water where the little waffle side is, I call it. And there you go, that one is done too. So let's get into one of the foundation brushes. And the foundation brushes are usually a bit more dense, so I tend to do that one with the bigger dots here, and then the more coarse side of the board that we made. I just rinse the brush off first, just to wet it. I dip it into this cleaning solution, and then I'm going to go ahead and start swirling back on my big dots here. And up and down these little straight ones that I made, I guess you would say. And then down into the waffle little area that water's running, I will go ahead and just rinse it right there. Usually it's done within the first time that I do it, but sometimes, you know, with the Morphe, that little kabuki brush that they have, that one is really dense, so the makeup really gets into that. But this one, it's all done basically. And there you go. Little technique. And I'll show you guys how I put them onto the rack in a second. And the last one is just the powder brush. I'm going to go ahead and rinse out all that soapy mess that's already in there. I'm going to go ahead and rinse the brush off first under a little bit of water, dip a little bit into the soap solution here, and I'm also going to start working that into a lather right on top of the little shapes or patterns that we made. If you feel like it gets a little dry, you can always run it under the water and do it again. Because Dawn is so like concentrated, you don't even need a lot of product. That's why in that cup it's like barely a teaspoon. And then I'm going to go ahead and rub it against the little waffle corner down here on the bottom until the water runs clear. And there we go. Just like that. I like to make sure that they're shaped properly when they're wet. Sometimes I'll even comb through them with like a baby comb and stuff, just to make sure it gets to that like shape. Like this one is supposed to be tapered, but when I let it dry diagonally, it just gets all flat and ugly. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rinse this off, and then I'll show you guys how I dry my brushes. So when I'm drying, oh, I forgot to show you guys how. So the same thing with the Beauty Blender. You can clean it against with the board here. I tend to avoid the smaller side of the board only because I don't want to make holes in there. And this Beauty Blender, it's actually broken already because I messed it up when I was trying to open it and play with it. So I don't want to get rid of it because I like it so much. So what I do is I go ahead and I rinse it under the water here. And I put a little bit of the solution, and I try to work this into a lather around the Beauty Blender a little bit just to make sure the soap goes on all sides. And I stick to this upper part of the bigger part of the clipboard here, and I just rub it up and down here. The Beauty Blender is actually the only one that takes the longest, only because you have to do like each section or each side of the Beauty Blender. But as you can see, it really doesn't take that long. I'm going to go ahead and rinse it out. And there you go, it's black again. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse off this clipboard here, just to make sure there's no soap or anything stuck in there. And I just let it dry. The reason why I use the back of the clipboard is because it has this little clip, as you guys can see. And I use that to sort of hang it up to dry. So I clip it onto like a towel or something. Or sometimes even if I'm done with washing my brushes, I'll clip it to the actual rack itself. And then I can put that all the way together. I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera up a little bit. So to dry my brushes, I go ahead and I put just a towel down. And then when you're putting your brushes in, the best way to do it is to sort of stand up. And excuse the bathroom, I am in the bathroom, and this is just where I wash my brushes unless I'm in the kitchen. So the first brush that I'm going to go ahead and put up there is the powder brush there. And remember, I like to shape it into the size that or into the shape that the brush should naturally be in. And I know that's lopsided, that's weird. And then when you're putting the brushes in, you never want to put them in this way because it'll just mess up your brush. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and flip the rack on its side, and all I do is sort of just fish it through until it stays by itself. And I'm going to show you what the Real Technique one is, because that one tends to have a bigger handle, and a lot of people are like, man, the handle's not going to fit in there, but it will. You just have to move all the rubber bands out of the way sort of and push it directly into there. And now the smaller eye brushes, I tend to put those up on the corners because that's where we're able to put the rubber bands going diagonally or horizontally, I don't know. And I just want to make sure you pull them up enough so that you can get them not to touch the table once you bring the corner, or once you bring the table back up. So as you can see, it's nice and secured there. And there you go. And that's it. And then I just leave them here overnight. If it's a nice warmy day, or a nice sunny day I should say, I'll take them outside and I just pick up the whole tray itself and I put it outside. For those brushes that are obviously too big to fit in here, you can definitely just put them on top. That's usually what I do with my Beauty Blender. I just put it on top and I just sort of let it air dry until it shrinks back to its size and it's back into this little drawer in my makeup area. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.